This was the 2014-2015 Champions League. The feared front three was in play for FC Barcelona: Neymar, Luis Suarez, and Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi had taken a backseat, Lionel Messi had taken a back row to be able to provide an top provider for Luis Suarez and Neymar. The truth about this is this: when you look at what Messi was doing, Messi was evolving at this point to being the ultimate playmaker. Messi was passing the ball, Messi was dribbling, Messi was giving the true passes. Messi was doing all the creation while being covered on that right wing by Ivan Rakitic. Many people don't understand the importance of Ivan Rakitic because when you look critically at it, because of the offensive duties of Messi, because of his attacking abilities, because of his prowess in attacking, because of the passes he needed to deliver to Neymar, Suarez, because Messi could win games for you. The truth about this is this: to be a team player, Messi had to take the back seat to ensure that Suarez and Neymar felt welcome, to ensure that Suarez and Neymar could do what they were supposed to do to help the team. To Messi, it was all about the team. It was not all about himself. It was all about how does the team win? How does the team win this Champions League? How do we take advantage of this? Because the truth about this is this: if they had not won that Champions League, think about this: Luis Suarez, Neymar, Messi, Rakitic, all those guys there, and they don't win the Champions League, they don't get to the final, it would have been an embarrassment. It would have been a disgrace. It would have been something out of the gutter. So Messi had to be a team player. The team had relied on him for goals for many years, but now he had to take a back seat, pass the ball, create, be creative, go in between lines and do stuff like that. And in doing that, he needed to have protection to ensure that he could be creative and use his creative juices as much as he did. The truth about this is this: Ivan Rakitic was vital for FC Barcelona in that run because he was on that right side. If Messi should lose the ball, if Messi is crowded, Rakitic is there to win the ball back. Rakitic is there to stop the counter-attack. Rakitic is there to shoot the ball from outside the box and score. Rakitic was vital for FC Barcelona, especially in the midfield, marking the ball, doing the dirty work. Rakitic was essential. Now we go to Manchester City in the round of 16. FC Barcelona go to Manchester City. Many Barcelona fans are expecting a thumping. They're expecting this is going to be 3-0, this is going to be 4-0, this is going to be amazing. But at the end of the day, Barcelona barely scraped a win against Manchester City and progressed to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. This is FC Barcelona. This is where the high powers of Neymar. Neymar is dribbling like nothing. Neymar is picking up defenders. Neymar is putting defenders on their backside. Luis Suarez is at the peak of his powers too. Luis Suarez is scoring goals. The FC Barcelona midfield basically was not there for creation. They were just there for retaining possession, for doing the dirty work, while the famous front three of Neymar, Suarez, and Messi would do the rest. This was the Champions League 14-15, and this was the year that Messi knew that the famous front three needed to deliver FC Barcelona a Champions League or it will be a failure of a season. They moved over to the quarterfinals of the Champions League to face Zlatan Ibrahimovic and PSG. Of course, this was not the match where you expect, the PSG match. You remember the famous one where PSG won the first leg and FC Barcelona had to win 6-1 in the second leg to progress. No, this was much easier. This was a PSG team that was not coordinated so much. This was a PSG team that, as much as they had Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who was a threat up front, their defense was not great. The goalkeeping situation was not all that awesome. And FC Barcelona dispatched of them really, really quickly and progressed to the semi-finals of the Champions League. And truth about this is this: there was another team progressing step by step, ever so slowly. Juventus was progressing step by step from the round of 16 to the quarterfinals and now to the semi-finals. Barcelona was with Juventus, but they were not fated to meet. They were not fated to meet till the finals. Juventus will face Real Madrid with Cristiano Ronaldo scoring home and away, but it was not enough as Juventus will progress, winning 2-1 and drawing 1-1 to progress to the final. FC Barcelona, on the other hand, would face a foe that they will come to know for many years, because that foe will hand them an incredible loss in many years to come, an 8-2 defeating, thumping, beating. But this time around, FC Barcelona had the upper hand. 3-0 in the first leg, they won, they beat FC Bayern. And in the second leg, Bayern Munich defeated them 3-2. So they progressed to the finals to face Juventus. This was a match like no other. This was going to be the defense and counter, the contain and counter of Juventus versus the tiki-taka of FC Barcelona. We all know the main man to mark. The guy to mark was Lionel Messi, the creator, the person that was going to create for them. Neymar also on the left could create. But at the end of the day, he was more used to dribbling. This was the time when Neymar was at the height of his dribbling powers. This was the time when Neymar was more concerned about dribbling and scoring. And the passing from Neymar was not all the great. Luis Suarez, on the other hand, has been a quintessential striker. A striker that can pass the ball, a striker that can score, a striker that can push, a striker that can defend. This was Luis Suarez at the peak of his powers. And now FC Barcelona would face the old lady Juventus. A formidable team that wanted to win the Champions League. This was like fate. They had defeated Real Madrid. They had beat Hala Madrid. They had defeated them. They had put Madrid on the side, on their backside. They had defeated the team that almost everyone feared in the Champions League. And this was like fate. This was their time. This was the moment. This was when they were going to win. Or so they thought. They would run into an immovable force called Lionel Messi. And he will absolutely ravage them on that final day. Yes, they had the team. Yes, they had Buffon. Yes, they had the defense. Yes, they had Chiellini, they had Bonucci, they had all of that. Yes, they were a team that people feared. Even the famous Real Madrid couldn't get more than 2 goals home and away beyond that Juventus defense. They scored 1 goal in the 2-1 win of Juventus. And the 1-1 draw, they had 1 goal. So in 2 matches, they had 2 goals. The famous Real Madrid attack, Bale, Ronaldo, Benzema, all those guys couldn't get more than 2 goals in 2 matches. In over 180 minutes of football, the Real Madrid attack couldn't score more than 2 goals against Juventus. Then you know that this Juventus defense was something. This Juventus defense was amazing. This Juventus defense was something that you should look up to. This Juventus defense, covered by their midfield, was to be feared. But they will run into a man who didn't care. They'll run into a man who had evolved into a playmaker. They'll run into a man who was too good to be stopped. His name, Lionel Andres Messi. The game will start with Bonucci and Bazaghi as the centre-backs, Paul Pogba in the midfield, Pello in the midfield, Marquinhos in the midfield. This was the time of Juventus, or so they thought. But FC Barcelona didn't have so much of a great defense, but you look at Mascherano and look at what he did for FC Barcelona in that season. Mascherano was a solid role for FC Barcelona. You look up front, you see Messi, Neymar, and Suarez. Messi was the creator in that game. Neymar had a better game in the final. And in the totality of the game, FC Barcelona carved open Juventus, opened up their midfield. Their midfield had maybe their most terrible game and put 3 past them in 1 game. You remember Real Madrid could only put 2 past them in 2 games. And this time Messi and Neymar and Suarez and Rakitic and all those guys put 3 behind them and defeated Juventus 3-1. Rakitic with 1 goal, Suarez with 1 goal, and Neymar with 1 goal. This was Buffon, who was auspicious, but they put 3 goals past him in the final. In an important match where Juventus should step up, they conceded 3 against FC Barcelona. And then you look at the goal scoring. Neymar had 10 goals that season in the Champions League. Messi had 10 goals that season in the Champions League. And Cristiano Ronaldo had 10 goals that season in the Champions League. Messi, Neymar, Suarez had delivered the ultimate prize in Europe to FC Barcelona. They had done what they were supposed to do. They had done what they were bought to do. They had done. They had adjusted. The chemistry was there. Messi had come back to the playmaking role. And then you had Suarez and Neymar doing what they were supposed to do. Suarez scoring the goals, Neymar scoring the goals, Neymar dribbling, Neymar creating too. And this was a menace that was supposed to last for a very long time. Or so many thought. We thought that this was going to be a back-to-back Champions League victory. We thought it was going to be a three-peat. They were unstoppable. What happened? I'll tell you in part 2.